in. Sleep on it. Trying to force a resolution when you're both exhausted can make things worse. So try tart cherry juice if you have any issues with joint pain or inflammation, and you just might sleep better too.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala.
There it goes. 5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Sorry.
Little hand is on what?
Didn't push the button. Hank Whittier is here for Veterans News. Good morning, Hank.
Good. It's a great morning. It's a beautiful morning, you know. Better than it is in most places in the country. A little cloudy. Rain woke me up last night. All that booming and thunder.
Yeah.
Didn't last long, but it woke me up. Sound like incoming, didn't it?
Don't wake it up, Hank. Don't wake it up.
Don't wake up. Don't wake Hank up, no. It's a bad thing to wake me up. All right, listen, we got a couple of things to talk about this morning. No real special guests, other than we got a couple of people supposed to call in. We'll see if they remember. In the meantime, we do have police fire casualties. Is that
Yes, sir. We got 3 firefighter casualties. We got firefighter Randy Whittier of Rice Lake Fire Department, Duluth, Minnesota, and his date of death was the 18th of February of this year. And we have Captain Dwight W. Bazell of the Houston Fire Department in Houston, Texas. He died coming out of a burning building on February 21st. And we have firefighter Edward Rowdy of the Somerset Volunteer Fire Department in Somerset, Pennsylvania. His date of death was the 22nd of February of this year. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families of these folks. Does anybody know of any local fatalities or casualties?
I don't have any local myself. Nobody local?
No.
Good. Well, that's a good thing. Larry.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you, Larry. Appreciate it. Kind of hard to get back into the groove. It's been so long since I've been over here, other than last week.
Yeah.
This is a microphone, right?
Yes. And we appreciate you using it.
Yeah. Well, last week I was, Dr. Knapp was making it difficult to use it, monopolizing that mic.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you have a couple of announcements, right?
Yes, I do. I have 2 announcements. At CTAE today, they're having a Veterans Career Training Showcase. It's free. They're going to have 2 sessions from 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. And for those who work during the day, from 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at night. This showcase will be held in the Brewster Hall at the CTAE campus, which is located at 1014 Southwest 7th Road in Ocala. It's right off of 200 there by the bridge. You can't miss it. It's a big building. And if you want any kind of information on this, you can contact Scott Carpenter at area code 352-671-7200. And our own Veterans Helping Veterans and the Florida Veterans Foundation will be presenting the Ocala Homeless and Needy Veterans Stand Down February 27th, which is tomorrow, and Saturday, February 28th from 8 to 4 p.m. If you have needs as a veteran, or if you know a veteran that has needs, come and see us. We got all kinds of things available tomorrow, and we'd be looking forward to seeing you, right, Hank?
Well, absolutely. Listen, a lot of activity. Yeah, the VA will be there doing disability claims. Jeffrey's Askew's office will be doing that. There'll be job services there, and you got a phone call already. Is that our guest calling?
I think so.
Okay, that's probably Gene. So just if you could
to hear him, you'll need your headset on.
Yeah. Okay. And just a lot. And listen, if you're a veteran, or you want to know more about veteran activities, you can come on down and just grab a cup of coffee with us. There'll be some goodies to eat, and we got the Salvation Army truck meals. I don't know what they call it. What do you call it?
Mobile canteen.
Mobile canteen. And they'll be there serving up some food, and of course we'll always have coffee and donuts and all that kind of stuff, so come on down and join us. And if you're a veteran who just wants to be with other veterans and share that camaraderie, which we all enjoy, it's a good place to do it. Both tomorrow, we'll be there early. We've been moving gear over there all week.
Right.
We'll probably be out again with my back more than likely, but
That's a good excuse.
yeah, weak mind, strong back. That's not the case anymore. The mind is still weak, but so is the back. But in any case, we'll be doing all that. But looking forward to seeing you all again. If you're a veteran and you're looking for services, you think you need some help, or you just want to talk about what you think you might be qualified for, or you just want to share that moment with other veterans, come on by. That's Tuscaloosa Park. Now, if everybody knows what Tuscaloosa Park is. It's just a block off of 8th Street to the west, and you'll find Tuscaloosa Park, and it's the old American Legion building. It's a brick building. We'll be there. You'll see us milling around. A lot of volunteers, a lot of people to thank, Salvation Army, the Purple Hearts. A lot of folks have contributed, like the Knights Templar and a lot of other groups, so to make it a success. So a lot of hard work has gone into it, not necessarily by us, but a lot of other volunteer groups and of course Gary. And I'm saying that because Gary and Ed did most of the work, so that's why I say that. But
we got about 30 agencies.
Yeah, about 30 agencies participating, trying to make life a little easier. If you don't have to be homeless. If you are homeless, we want to get you off the streets and get you into some housing. If you have other needs, come on by and talk to us, and the door's open. We'll be glad to see you. All right, and you have somebody on the phone?
Yes, sir.
And we have, of course, James Curley. I wanted to, a lot of people hear these voices on the phone or hear these names in the community, and I want to just do a little profile on a few of them. James Curley here, Sergeant Curley. Believe we have Gene Poole on the phone. We need to do a brief commercial, and then we'll have talk to our guest and remind everybody this is Black History Month. And I serve with a lot of good troops who happen to be African American, Black Americans, and I was proud to do it. I want to profile a couple of them today, but right after the commercial, we'll get into it.
All right, so we'll take our commercial break, and we'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. It'll be mostly cloudy today with a couple of showers, even a thunderstorm around it this morning. Highs will range from the mid and upper 60s in the northwest part of the zone to 74 along the coast. Mostly cloudy skies tonight with a couple of lingering showers along the coast. Lows ranging from 45 in the northwest part of the zone to the mid-50s along the coast. For tomorrow, variable cloudiness and breezy with a passing shower, highs in the mid and upper 60s. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
The tech experience of the future is here at the newly relocated Ocala Verizon Smart Store. Join us on Saturday, February 28th from noon to 2 p.m. and get your hands on the latest smart devices. Right now, get 2 lines with 6 gigabytes of data for $100 monthly access for smartphones, all on the more everything plan with Verizon Ed. So don't miss the grand opening of the newly relocated Ocala Verizon Smart Store next to Chick-fil-A. Subject to customer and edge agreements and credit approval. Coverage details at VerizonWireless.com.
You've You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Stay informed on everything going on in the villages with the Village Spectator newspaper. The Village Spectator is exclusively devoted to the villages with news, commentary, and more. And yes, they have Tom's Picks, a free referral for people who are looking for a company to do work for them. Tom's Picks will refer the company that fits your needs, and all we ask is that you tell them where you heard about them. Call Tom's Picks at 804-1223 and pick up your copy of the Village Spectator today.
Now read Ocala Downtown newspaper online.
All right, 15 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's rejoin Hank Whittier and Better Says.
Real quickly, we're going to talk about Bob Wines and Ford.
You know, we had a hint of spring in the air this week, and you could smell the camellias and the azaleas and the dogwoods. And if you don't have some of these to beautify your yard, you might want to visit the folks at Bob Wines, Camellia Gardens and Nursery. They're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in beautiful Ocala. When it comes to your landscaping needs, they have it all. They have, they'll even deliver it if you can't pick it up. They'll plant trees and they'll guarantee them. You can't beat a deal like that. And when you go down there, you got to make sure you tell them you heard about them on Veterans News Hour and WOCA Radio, and you'll get a 10% discount. Bob Wines has been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. That's a long time, almost as old as me. Ocala, Florida, has wonderful Ford dealers, and they serve the area of Ocala itself, Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, and Bellevue. You want to get in there, get a good deal at one of these Ford dealerships. They have new cars, Escorts, Mustangs, Lincolns, F-150s, F-250s, you name it, they got it. They'll give you a good deal. And if you're a little short on cash and you can't afford a new one, they've got used ones also and at the right price for you. And if you're looking for a part or service, they do a great job at that. And if you're not interested in any of that, they'll even lease you a vehicle. Visit Ford of Ocala at 2816 North Pine Avenue in beautiful Ocala.
Very good. Okay, listen, let's see if we can't pick up Command Sergeant Gene Poole on the phone, okay?
I believe he's on. Good morning. You're on the air.
Command Sergeant.
Good morning.
How you doing? Sorry to keep you.
Fighting a cotton picking cold, but I'm going to hang in there.
There you go.
But
Well,
let me applaud all of you for very, very exciting, very challenging introduction. You couldn't ask for better, and I think you guys do an excellent job. I appreciate that. After I listen, as we're not doing it, you got to be a moron not to understand what they're saying and what they're offering. So let me give you A for that. You might get a B otherwise, but that's what you're getting right now.
hey, Gene, when did you first join the U.S. Army? When did you do that?
October 24th, 1960, I got drafted.
And you served where? Where'd you serve?
Oh, Lord. Well, I started out in Fort Dix, New Jersey. For whatever reason, they transferred me back to Fort Benning, Georgia. And I went there and did my basic. And once I completed my basic training, well, then, based on my scores, I was transferred then to San Antonio, Texas. And I stayed there about, between 6 and 8 months. And I was a pretty good medic based on my test scores. And so I was in the medical field from that day up until almost the day that I got banged up. So that's where I was. When I left the San Antonio, I went to Fort Ord, California. I was on the levee to go to Laos. I have no idea what happened, why I was removed from that cotton picking levee. I don't know. And then I spent there. And once I got out, I came back to Florida. And ever since then, it's been a real interesting, productive, and successful military career.
And you retired. When did you retire? I know you retired when you got hurt.
April 1995.
95, and you retired out Command Sergeant Major?
So, yeah, correct. Command Sergeant Major of the 429 Medical Battalion in Savannah, Georgia. I was in a near fatal car accident.
Very good, and that's a lot of years. You know what I notice when you meet people that you serve with, and a lot of young men and women, is they always talk about how you made them grow and how you led them and showed them the right path to be successful in what they're doing. That always stood out to me because I've known you a long time, but I've noticed how many young men and women have come up to you to thank you for your leadership, but also with your guidance with them and making sure they follow the right path to be successful. So that's something you're very proud of, Gene.
I appreciate it, and I can certainly agree that has been, and that's the way it is now. It's real rewarding to know that I helped somebody. And I've had a lot of challenges, and I have broken a lot of barriers. And it's interesting when I say that. When I was discharged, my position was if you live 25 miles or more from an active reserve unit, you didn't have to worry about it. So what they did, they assigned me to the 75th Field Hospital in South Florida, maybe West Palm Beach, I don't know. And then I went to the first summer camp, they call it, I guess. And then when I got there, I went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And when I got there, I was a medic. I've always been a medic. And as a result of it then, this full-bird colonel felt that I needed to be an active, not just a ready reserve, but an active one. So what he did, he coordinated me to get directly into a reserve unit at the University of Florida while he was in Gainesville. It was a 3396 USCR reception station. I then was immediately made the staff sergeant for the medical department. I had about, I imagine there's about 200 plus soldiers in the unit. But I was a medic, gave a lot of shots, We did a lot of physicals for high schools in Levy County, Marion County, Alachua County, real active. Mm-hmm. I guess the most fascinating part of that assignment, I was the first black that was assigned to that unit. And that was surprising to me because I did not know that.
I bet there were a lot of stories when that first happened. I bet that was a challenge. People who don't know you know that I know you're very, you're politically active, probably more so than anybody else I know in town. And in addition to that, you're the superintendent up at Lowell for I don't know how many years. You're the superintendent there many years. The women's prison, right?
Oh yeah. Let me just tell you, I went from 1972 to 1995. I went into the state prison for women. The first black male teacher in the prison for women, the first black male vocational coordinator, which included the women and the men unit, the first black vocational director in the system, and the first black, and it's interesting, everything seemed to be a first, the first black assistant warden in the state prison system in Lowell and the men unit. And I was there for about, 15, 16 years. I was there, and I ran the outside unit. Well, a lot of experience, a lot of ability. And I stayed there until early 90, maybe 90, 91. And then I was promoted to warden of the state prison for women.
Very good. Well, you've had a great career, Gene. And again, I've known you since, I think, 75, 76. You don't remember that far back, but I do.
Go ahead and think that. Go ahead and think that if you want to.
Okay. Hey, Gene, you sound like you need a medic yourself this morning. You need to take care of that cold and get better.
Yeah, the nurse Benny already.
Okay, good. Yeah, we got Jim Curley. You know James Curley. James.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about him too. But I appreciate your service, and I appreciate all you continue to serve veterans. A lot of people don't realize that probably, but you're of course on the board of directors with us. But you're always up there, always on the front line, worrying about veterans and taking care of veterans. I appreciate your service. Okay, and you continue your service.
Every day of the week, every night, somebody will call me about it. And I'm very fanatic about the treatment of veterans, very much. I had a good military career, and it's not a successful, civilian career. But anyway, anything I can do, when you see that I've stopped fighting, I've gotten to the last trail, the last straw of the doggone broom.
Well, you got a way to go, my friend. All right, listen, hang in there. We'll be talking some more, okay?
Good.
All right,
Doing
Gene.
a good job. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
buddy. All right, yeah, a lot of folks don't know. Gene's been around. He and I have been on different sides from time to time with the political fight, but you always know that he's there. I mean, he's got strong opinions, and I respect that. A voice you hear probably almost every week or every other week is my friend sitting across over here, my fellow Marine, my combat buddy. Call him Sergeant Curley, and give me a little. I don't, are you originally from Ocala?
I'm originally from Bellevue, which is like 11 miles south of here. Yes.
And when did you go in the Marine Corps?
November 1963.
November 63?
Yeah.
All right. Paris Island?
Paris Island.
Okay. Why don't you kind of walk us through the circumstances? Did you enlist? Do you get drafted? Or?
I was. They had me in the next draft, so I went and enlisted so that I wouldn't have to go to the Army or the Navy.
Why did you pick the Marine Corps?
I like those dress blues.
Did you?
To be honest with you, ask me a question. I have to answer it honestly. I really like the dress blues. And my job and my thought was, how do I go about getting the dress blues? And that was my initial. I know you didn't get them right away or whatever.
Not then you didn't.
No. You have to earn those dress blues. And so that was one of the things I liked really about that whole outfit.
63, Vietnam was, I don't know if anybody knew when Vietnam was in 63. And people were talking about it. I remember when I first heard about it, we all kind of ran down to the library and because units were starting to go over there. And it didn't say Vietnam, it said Indochina.
Indochina, right.
And so no one knew even where they were going, where they were sending the first Marine units over there.
Right.
Yeah.
But the whole idea was that, I volunteered, like I say, because I didn't want to be, in the Army. But, my thought was, everybody in the Army had to jump out of airplanes and that kind of thing. But, that was my thought. So I went into the Marine Corps and I had a very successful career. I made rank. I did quite well, I think. In 4 years, I was a Sergeant E5, and for four more years, I stayed a Sergeant E5 with the number 72 on the list to be a Staff Sergeant. But, I got disenchanted primarily because they were rushing the troops through under my command. They wasn't really letting me do a lot of training that I thought was required before they got sent right to the front line. So, I just got out.
That was the old days when they were rushing them through eight weeks in boot camp, and then the next stop was probably infantry training, then Vietnam. Yeah.
Right, and there wasn't enough time. I mean, this is just me. I just felt like I. Well,
you did a tour, and when did you go to Vietnam?
My first tour into Vietnam was in 1965 and 66.
And what outfit were you at?
Alpha Company 17, 1st Battalion, 7th Marines, and the second tour was with three different outfits. The second tour was in 68 and 69 doing the Tet. I was in Kilo 35, which is K Company, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. Then I got transferred to Alpha Company 14, and then back to Kilo 35 in Da Nang. 14 was up in Phu Bai and Way Phu Bai. So it was a necessary thing that we transferred because everybody got over at the same time. So they transferred some of us out to continue fighting in Phu Bai, and they sent some of them down south so that they could get a little rest and rehabilitation. And then they de-rolled everybody back around the one so they could get out of there on time. But pretty interesting job, and we had a lot of hand-to-hand combat fighting up in Phu Bai, which is where I got my second wound. It was just one of the things that we had to do, and we did it with pride, and there was there wasn't no second thought about doing your job. You just did it and not even think about the consequences.
That's where you earned your Purple Heart?
Yes.
Okay. And then when were you discharged from the Marine Corps?
Discharged in January the 20th, 1972. 8 years, 4 months, 21 days.
So what did you do when you came stateside?
I came back stateside. I got out of the Marine Corps in 72, so I went directly from there to the post office as a mail handler, a clerk. And then from there, I stopped doing that and went directly to becoming a United Parcel Service delivery person. And I did that for 28 years. And here I am.
Well, you, Gene Poole, and some other guys in town have been, you've taken the lead. You haven't forgotten about the troops you serve with. And just like this stand down that we're doing, you continue staying in the fight and serving veterans, and we appreciate it. I like to profile, we haven't done it in a long time, but I like to profile your neighbors and the people living here. particularly since this is Black History Month, you and Gene are two leaders in the community that need to be known about. Some people know you, some people don't, but you make this a better community, you and Gene and some others here. So we appreciate your service. We don't tell you that all the time, but you know we do.
Yes.
And Semper Fi, my friend.
Semper Fi.
Tomorrow, as you know, you'll be there. Matter of fact, I just gave him another assignment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll be there.
You learn that in the Marine Corps. Whether you volunteer or not, you're going to be given an assignment. Yeah. So you got to ramrod the color guard and all that tomorrow. We'll be there bright and early. Probably we'll be roaming down there about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. So come join us for the stand down. And Gary, you got any last words about the stand down or anything else we want to talk about?
No, we would like your prayers for it, that we're able to help those in need and that it goes off. There's been a lot of stress to get everything together, but we've done everything we can, and now it's up to the community to get those people down there.
You know you're in good shape if you pass the stress test by organizing a stand down. Your heart is sound.
Amen.
Hey. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Appreciate it. Appreciate your service, and like always, God bless America, everybody.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The winter storm, which dumped more than 10 inches of the white stuff on Alabama and other areas, moving east. Warren County, Mississippi Sheriff Martin Pace.
Deep south, you don't see this a lot.